Hello and welcome to Faviola, the CEO Hustler, your business coach for aspiring interpreters and entrepreneurs. This is your go-to place to start and help you grow your career, your business, as well as your lifestyle. My name is Faviola Valencia and I am your host. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hey, what's up, friends? Faviola, the CEO Hustler here. I wanted to take a quick moment to share what's been going on. And I'm sure that many of you guys are going to be able to relate. Although I am closer to my 50s, I was raised, obviously, here in the 70s in the U.S., coming from a Hispanic background. One of the things that many of our parents, I should say, back in the days, they would get freaked out every single time. You couldn't talk about sex. You couldn't talk about drugs. You couldn't talk about your feelings because, oh my God, you were weak and blah, blah, blah. Nowadays, one thing I learned throughout the years is we don't get a freaking manual on how to be a parent. We don't get a freaking manual to know what to do. And with everything happening around the world right now, everything is so chaotic. Many of us are so stressed out, overwhelmed. And, we feel like the world is coming, to an end at times. Or we have so much weight on our shoulders that, where do we go, right? And then you go onto your social media and you see all these online gurus, or you see people so happy and glamorous and making all this money, and you're like, oh my God, I wish I was like them. And we're talking about adults, okay? Then can you imagine how our young kids feel seeing this kind of stuff? And then you turn on the TV and you hear all of this bad stuff going on, and more chaos and more destruction. And again, can you imagine how our kids feel? So why is this important? And why should we be talking about this? Or why should we talk about this, I should say? And it's not being talked about. I think we're just so freaking into the whole social media buzz that we want to be like everybody else. And I'm guilty as charged. I am human. So what happened a few days ago is I've been noticing some changes with my 16-year-old. And, I've been stressed out. Thank God it has nothing to do with business because I am super blessed to still have work. But I guess I'm overwhelmed with the fact that my son's overseas, with the fact that my older son suffered a bad accident. And so now we're dealing with that, his aches and pains and being unable to work. And, he's very young. And then I got my, 10-year-old and 16-year-old doing homeschool. And, we're so busy with the day in, day out stuff going on that sometimes it's like, we don't pay attention, or we pay attention, but we're so freaking busy with ourselves that we don't take that moment to say, hey son, hey daughter, or hey friend, or hey husband or wife, what's going on? Because it's always go, 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 go. We live in the freaking country where we're supposed to have so much liberty and freedom and blah, 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 but we're always on a rush, right? So back to my son. I've noticed these trends, and I was hoping, we have a very open line of communication, but somehow he was just shutting down. And finally, a few days ago, it's like, okay, son, what's going on? And he didn't want to talk. And so I kind of pressed, and then finally he just broke down. And some of the issues that have been going on, which we did not address, and I'm, again, feeling so freaking guilty about this. Again, going back to being Hispanic, most of us don't believe in counseling. Most of us is like, oh my God, you're weak for crying, or, you got to dust it under the rug and cover it, cover the sun with one finger, because that's not us. We're not weak. At least that's what many of us, and from what I hear from many Hispanic communities and other, communities, that's how we were raised. So he finally broke down and expressed to me how it's been a couple years since his best friend took his life. And we never addressed it. Never took him to counseling, never talked about it. He was like a stepson to us. It hit home very hard. But we were dealing with the pain. We were dealing with the heartache. And we never stopped to think how bad this was affecting my son. So he goes on social media, and apparently, he sees pictures of his best friend and videos, people sharing them, and it's just been eating him inside. Then the other thing is that, he's very thin, and somehow he feels like no matter how much he eats, he can gain weight, but that's just his body structure. He's a boxer, and he has a lot of muscle. He doesn't understand that, eventually his body's going to change and he should love himself the way he is. Then you have the other thing where it's, God, I'm so upset at myself for not. I seen it, but I didn't address it on time. But I guess I should be happy that we finally opened up that line of communication, and it's never too late. So if you're seeing these trends with your friends, family, children, please take a moment and talk. And so the other thing is the fact that, for over 8 years, he's been training day in, day out. And just when he was getting ready to box, every single time something happened, the fights were getting canceled. And, my kid, and those that know him, man, he trained so hard, blood, sweat, and tears. So can you imagine how disappointed he was every single time where he was just ready to go into the ring and box, and then his opponent would either not show up or would cancel or would come overweight or underweight, and so the fights got canceled. So that's the other thing, third thing, where he's just so disappointed, and he kind of blames himself because he's like, well, if I only gained more weight, then, I could have more fights. But he doesn't understand. Again, that's his body structure, and things happen for a reason, right? And then now with the whole COVID, he's almost 17. He's a junior in high school. And with this whole COVID thing, he's not going out, hanging around with his friends, or his friends coming over because we have underlying conditions. So all of this, like, day-to-day freaking stuff happening. If it's happening to our kids and if it's happening to us, why can't we open that line of communication and speak to help each other, right? So we both broke down in tears. We both kind of just, said our piece, and then he bombshells me and tells me, like, Mom, I'm so sorry, and I messed up, and blah blah blah, that he had tried marijuana. Well, come on. All of us, I think many of us have at one point or another, smoked that doobie, right? And if you haven't, great for you. But again, I guess that was eating him up inside, where it's like he was just hiding it. And finally, when he just, like I said, it talked about everything, or I'm hoping it was everything, I felt that weight off his shoulders, just like he was able to finally just breathe. So he was open to going to counseling, which I praise him for that. The doctor praised him for that, for opening up. And like I said, we have this real good communication with all of our kids, and to see this, but I guess it was just me just being so busy with the new changes and implementing, making sure that everything was done for them in-house, that they had everything that they needed, the support for their online schooling, with their, medical, and then me being sick for 3 months with this damn influenza and pneumonia. And then with the business where, like I said, I've been super blessed, where I've just been super busy, that it's just, I didn't take the time. So I am asking all of you guys, okay, that many of you who see those people online, including myself, you'll see a smile, you'll see the glam, you'll see like, woohoo, we're doing this and we're doing that. But behind the scenes, this is what we have going on. You know, real life stories, real life drama, real life scenarios that happen that most of us don't share them online. And I think that the same way that we share all the good, we should be sharing the bad. And I would hope that people will start doing this more, because you never know, your story can touch someone else's heart, someone else's family, and helping them out. So what happened after all of this happening these past few days is that, again, we resolved it by talking. We resolved it by crying and hugging each other and telling each other how much we love each other. You know, doing our bonding again, doing our dinners, just speaking out, laughing and mingling, and more importantly, getting the help that they need. So yes, he is going to counseling. He started 2 days ago, which I'm super proud of him. He just got a job, so I'm hoping that that's also going to open. You know, he seems very excited and very happy. Then my daughter, you know, my 10-year-old daughter, believe it or not, yesterday she approached me. She's like, Mommy, this and this is happening, and do you think I can also talk to a counselor? I was like, whoa, right? But again, you know, there's things that our kids will speak to us, but we also got to respect that there's things that they may feel more comfortable speaking to someone else, getting that outside input. Because speaking from somebody who's also done counseling, I've gone to counseling myself. And sometimes even though I hear the stuff coming from my husband or from my mom or from my family, it doesn't feel the same than hearing it from a third person. Because sometimes you feel like, okay, they're just telling me what the heck I want to hear, right? But then when you hear it from someone else, like, oh, okay, now I get it. So no, my husband and my mom and my family, they weren't lying to me. So I hope you guys understand that you guys need to take a step back. Don't worry about what's going on online. Focus on you. Focus on your family. Focus on what's important in your circle, and stop worrying about everybody else, because all that's going to do is going to create more chaos, create more animosity, create more stress, create more the why not me, and the self-doubts, and it's going to create more problems. Why? As long as you're making enough to pay your bills, to put a roof over your head, clothes on your back, food on the table, that's what should matter. Everything else will slowly come to place. Stop freaking trying to be a millionaire, a billionaire, a six-figure income, because all you're doing is creating more chaos. You're basically separating yourself from your family. You're pushing them away because it's all about work, work, work. And no, people, please stop this freaking online social media buzz, because I guarantee you that if you're following somebody online and you dig deep, you're going to see that those same people at one point or another, they broke down, and most of them are miserable because they're just so freaking tired of pushing content, of pushing and selling and marketing till they're freaking blue in the face just to make that six-figure income, because they're not happy with what they have. So bottom line, be happy, be happy with what you have. Be blessed. Be thankful for being on this planet. Many people don't have that luxury. Many people wish they could have, lived another day, and their lives were cut short. And there's just so much freaking chaos and animosity happening right now that we don't need to add more to the plate. Okay, so let me know if some of this resonates with you, if some of this has helped you, whether it be this podcast or video or any other platform, please let me know, because, I am an open book. I'm going to share things with you that many other people don't share. And it's just freaking reality. It's life. And many people that follow me that are in the interpreting industry or just, freelancers or entrepreneurs will say, oh, well, what the hell does that have to do with business? I'm here to get business tips. Well, it has a lot to do, because if you're freaking miserable in your life and you're not paying attention to your family, your friends, guess what? Your business is not going to flourish. You're going to continue to have those same damn freaking problems, because now you're going to be dealing with the business problems, the family problems, versus trying to find that balance, that medium happy, that happy place for both. So again, even right now, believe it or not, I had like this weight over my shoulders, and even talking about it right now, I just felt like, and I know that some of my conversations do help others, because I get comments all the time, even on my blog, that I know that it helps someone. And it's not all about the freaking money. It's not all about the 6-figure and look at me and look at my glam and look at this pretty computer and this pretty lights and this. No, it's all freaking material, and materialistic things. You know what? They come and go. And at the end of the day we die, we don't take beep shit with us, right? So focus on you. Focus on your family, focus on what's important, and everything else will come to play. Okay? So let's continue to boss up and rise. Let's continue to hustle. But at the same time, remember, pay attention to your family. Pay attention to your kids. Pay attention to what's important. Have a blessed day.